You're not the customer, you're the product. And your outrage is what makes you sell. Nobody built that app to connect you. Nobody built it to entertain you or to keep you close to your grandkids or show you recipes. They built it to sell you by the minute, and you go for a higher price when you're angry. Like you feel it, don't you? The stoplight turns green, nobody moves. The waiting room, nobody looks up. The meeting where everybody files in, staring at a screen. And the dinner where everybody shows up and nobody's there. That low hum under your day, that tired, wound up, a little ashamed, and no one you can point at. Here's what they are betting on. They're betting that you never look under the hood because the day you see how the machine actually works is the day that you stop being the thing that it sells. So look at us, grown adults who can't stand in line for 90 seconds without reaching for a pocket. We check the phone before our feet hit the floor in the morning, and it's the last light on our face at night. We text through the green lights. We scroll through the meeting. We sit in rooms full of people that we've worked beside for years, and we don't know a single one of their stories because every pause of the day, every red light, every elevator, every quiet minute used to belong to a thought has now been sold. And don't tell me it's the teenagers. It's not. It's us. It's me. Let me show you exactly how much it's me. It was a Friday afternoon. Work wrapped up early. The week had been pretty good. I felt good. So I did the thing that we all do with a little free time. I got on my phone just to see what I'd missed. And there it was, a political post. I didn't agree with it, but I had thoughts, and I figured that my thoughts would be helpful. So I commented. It didn't take long. Replies came back. They were not kind. And so I tried to answer the way you're supposed to. Gentle, reasonable. And they came back hotter. And I bit. Look, I took the bait. And inside of a few exchanges, I was down in the mud with strangers. Nobody was listening. Nobody caring what anybody else said. Every comment just fuel for the next one. 45 minutes went by, and I felt it was 5. When I finally put the phone down, I was hot. I was frustrated. I hadn't been heard. I hadn't gotten to say the things that I wanted to say in the way that I wanted to say it. I was furious at somebody that I couldn't reach, that I couldn't see, that I didn't know, and I would never even meet. And then I drove home to my family. They got the leftovers. I walked in already closed off. I helped make dinner, and I was slamming some cabinet doors. My head wasn't even in the kitchen. It was back in that thread, framing new arguments, sharpening the next comeback for people who were never going to read it. We sat down and ate, and I couldn't tell you one thing anybody said. And later that night, my wife looked at me and she asked, "Where were you tonight?" Where was I? Right here. Where else would I be? She paused for a moment. She said, "You haven't been here all night." She was right. The machine had me. I gave that post a dozen comments. Every reply hated, I gave the thumbs down. And the machine doesn't care which thumb you use. Anger counts the same as applause. In fact, better actually. I fed it all evening, and it fed on me. And I came home spoiled, rotten at the core, like a bad apple in a barrel. And rot doesn't stay in one apple. It spreads to whatever it was touching. And that night, it was touching my family. And here's the part that should bother you. Nothing about that evening was an accident. Somebody got paid for it. Now, walk through this money with me, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And you need to see this. Look, you've never written any of these platforms a check, not once. So who is the customer? The advertisers are. They pay billions for one thing, your eyes, measured by the minutes, which makes you inventory. The product on the shelf is your attention, and the price goes up the longer you stay. So every piece of that machine, the feed, the autoplay, the little red badge, was engineered by some of the smartest people alive to answer one question: what will keep this man staring? And the answer, tested on billions of people, came back not joy, but rage. Like a calm man will scroll past. An angry man stops, reads it twice, comments, checks back for replies, loses his whole Friday night. Anger is engagement. Engagement is minutes, and minutes are money. Your blood pressure is a revenue stream, a commodity. And the same machine is training the people who make the stuff. Every creator on these platforms gets paid out of the same pot. Views, watch time, engagement. So every creator learns inside of a month exactly what the machine pays for. Post something thoughtful, it gets 100 views. Post something shocking, something with a face twisted in fury in a thumbnail, and a machine will hand you 50,000 views. You don't need a memo after that. The lesson writes itself. So the shot gets louder, the headline gets uglier, the clips get more dishonest, and not because creators wake up meaner, but because the paycheck only comes through one door. The machine breeds its own bait. And it goes one step darker than even that. Because it isn't just training them, it's training you. William Brady and Molly Crockett led a research team at Yale that tracked millions of posts and found that when outrage gets rewarded, the likes, the shares, the pile-on, people learn to produce more of that thing, which means some of what you feel like conviction in your chest is actually conditioning. You've been trained one little reward at a time, like a slot machine teaches a gambler. Meanwhile, think about what never gets that treatment. The kind post, the patient explainer, the neighbor who fixes wheelchairs in his garage. That content doesn't spike anybody's pulse, so the machine buries it. Smaller reach, quieter audience, a fraction of the footprint. The people trying to put something good into the world are shouting into a pillow while the arsonists get a microphone. The best things online, honestly, live in the basement. And the worst things get the billboard. That's not a glitch. That's the pricing working exactly as designed. It's the business model. But here's where it stops being about money and starts to be about you and me. Because you can't run a machine like that on a whole society and not change the people that are in it. Jonathan Haidt, he's a social psychologist at NYU, and he wrote a book called The Anxious Generation. And the picture is blunt. As life moved into the phone and the feed, anxiety and depression climbed with it. Steepest in our kids. The heaviness that so many people carry right now isn't a character flaw. It has an address. And look what else came in the same package. A whole culture rehearsing itself, posting itself, photographing its lunch, filming its workouts, ranking its friends, and checking back hourly to see how it's performing. The machine handed every one of us a little stage and a little scoreboard and then taught us how to live for the scoreboard. More stuff to show for, more moments staged instead of being actually lived, more of every thought bending back towards me, my angle, my numbers. We get lonelier, meaner, more anxious, and more impressed with ourselves all at the same time. And we did it holding a device that we swore that we bought to stay connected, while the actual people in the actual room learn to stop expecting our eyes. Now, let me slow down, because this is the part I cannot let you scroll past. Everything I've said so far, you could hear and shrug off. Bad habit. I'll do better. But it isn't a habit. It's a renovation, and it's happening inside your skull, whether you approve the plans or not. Start with a thing that you can measure in yourself right now. Dr. Gloria Mark spent 20 years at UC Irvine timing how long a human being actually stays focused on one screen before flipping to the next. In 2004, it was 2.5 minutes. Now, what's your guess? 47 seconds. 47 seconds. You didn't get busier. You got trained, retrained, down to the attention span of a bird until you can't sit with a thought long enough to finish it anymore. You feel it when you try to read a book and your hand reaches for the phone when you get to the bottom of the page. That reach isn't weakness. That's a groove that's worn into you. And it goes deeper than focus, all the way down to the shape of the thing. Look, researchers at Heidelberg University put heavy smartphone users in an MRI machine and compared their brains to people who weren't. The heavy users had measurably less gray matter in the regions that run impulse control, decision-making, and sit with this one, empathy. less physical brain tissue in the exact places that let you pause before you snap and feel what another person is feeling. And here's a sentence that should stop you cold. These are the same regions that shrink in the brains of drug addicts. The scan of a man hooked on his feed and the scan of a man hooked on a substance are starting to look like first cousins. So let's say it plainly, because part of you already suspects this. You are becoming someone. Every day in the machine is a vote for who? A little less patient, a little quicker to contempt, a little number to the person across the table, a little more electric at the stranger that you've never met. Shorter fuse, thinner skin, harder heart. And the terrifying part is you won't notice the day it becomes permanent because the same machine doing the shaping is the one telling you you're fine. That's the reason to change. And it's not be a better citizen of the internet. It's this: keep going, and you're not going to recognize the person that you hand your kids in 10 years. This is the moment you decide whether the man in the scan is going to be you. Not someday, but now, while you can still feel that something is wrong. Now, I've been picking this machine apart here for a while without telling you where I stand because, well, everything that I've said is true, whether you share my foundations or not. But I do owe you my cards. I am a pastor. And what worries me the most about that machine isn't the money it takes, it's the person that it's making. Because I believe that you are made for something, and being merchandise isn't it. There's a line in an old letter, Paul writing to Rome, and it reads like, I don't know, it was written about the feed. Romans 12:2, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into the new person by changing the way you think. Don't copy the behaviors and customs of the world. Friends, that is literally the algorithm's entire job description. It studies the world's behaviors and copies it to you over and over, louder each time until the copying feels like your own personality. And the way out of that, Paul names, is not smash the machine, it's change the way you think. The battle is not in the server farm, it's in what you feed. Look, I'm not telling you to delete your accounts, and I'm not telling you that your phone is the devil. Running from it is not the answer, and you already know that because everyone who's rage quit a platform is back on it Thursday. The machine isn't going anywhere. The question was never how to escape it. The question is who you're going to be inside of it, because you get to choose that. So here's what you do, and it starts with your thumb. Stop feeding the rage. All of the rage. Don't open the post that's engineered to make you furious. Don't hate watch. Don't comment your correction. Don't even give the angry thumbs down because the machine can't read your heart, only your minutes. And a furious machine pays the same as a happy one. Every click on the bait is a vote for more bait, served to you and to everybody like you. Then what you do is you turn around and feed what's good. Find the honest, the kind, the true, and like it on purpose. Make a choice, comment on it, share it, subscribe to it. Your thumb is a ballot, and you cast it 100 times a day, whether you mean it or not. Cast it like you mean it, and watch your own feed change inside of 2 weeks because the machine is going to feed you what you want. It doesn't grow a conscience, but when you stop ordering the rot, you'll start to get something different. Now that's the defense. Now the offense, because there is a mission field on your phone bigger than any the church has ever been handed. Billions of people standing in the same feed you are, and most of them tired and mad and starving for one honest voice. And you walk in there carrying tools no missionary in history has ever had. A like that tells the machine, make more of this. A subscribe that funds the good instead of the rot. A comment that can change the temperature of an entire thread. Small levers, real weight. Like I have another channel called 60-Second Theology in which I take some theological word and connect it to something that's going on in the world. And a while back, I posted a 60-second of theology built on the most radioactive name in the country, Donald Trump, on a week when a penalty, a soccer penalty, disappeared and half of the nation was furious about it. And I said that outrage made sense and that there's an old word for the penalty that vanishes when you don't earn something, and it's grace, which was a word proving that nothing was ever meant to be fair. Grace confronts that. And a man found it and came in swinging, told me that the analogy was stupid. And then he came back and made his argument that grace and coercion have nothing to do with each other. He had a point worth granting. So I commented and I granted it. No counterpunch, no scoring. And this man turned right there in the comment thread. The place that I just called this well-lit end of the sewer, he wrote back, "Thanks for being a man about it. I'm sorry for the words I chose." And I told him no apology was needed. He sharpened me, that I was better for it, and that's how it's supposed to work. Two men on the internet, angriest subject, and it ended with him saying, "God bless you," and I said it back. That's how it's supposed to work. That thread cost me nothing but a little pride, and somewhere a stranger softened. And I promise you, the machine has no idea what to do with that. It can price your anger to the penny, and it has never once figured out how to sell your kindness. Because the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, it doesn't spike. It doesn't trend. It just lands one person at a time in one place that the whole starving world is standing around waiting for something real. Look at where you started today. Inventory. Something harvested by the pound and sold by the minute. And you didn't even know that the store was open. You can see the machine now, the money, the training, the bait. It's still running. It will be running tomorrow. But a person who can see it clearly feeds it nothing and walks through it kindly on purpose. That's the one thing the whole operation was never built to survive. And the next time somebody you love looks up and asks where you are, you'll be able to say, "Right here." And it'll be true. Think clearly. Live faithfully. There are hard things all around us. And the question isn't, will it get to me, but what will I become because of it? Let's navigate this together with grace and grit and come out hopeful. Grace with grit. I'll see you on the next one.
Hard things come, but you come through. Grace with grit, not a side of way through.